Well, I want to put out this video for posterity purposes because I know what's going to happen with this petition that was to the White House. You know, we the people petition the White House, and after a while they get taken away. Now, Obama likes to present himself as this nice guy that I don't know how to actually describe him, or like our coolest president. And you know, in some ways, I think he actually is, to tell you the truth, except for his policies, of course. But you know, as a person, man, I could probably get along with this guy really good. You know, but I gotta put this out here for posterity's sake because it was a petition. Um, Charge Hillary Rodham Clinton pursuant to U.S. Code 18641 793. You know, the fact that she uh, sent classified information out of a server and needed to keep the classification, all that type of stuff. So they need 100,000 signatures is the goal. You see it down here. Hopefully this is coming out clear enough. They got 246,000 signatures, okay? Like in no time flat. Didn't take long. Left this petition up there. It would probably be in the millions, not too without waiting too long. Um, Now the thing is, yeah. So this is created July 5th. I don't know how long it took to get the signatures, but I think it took maybe a couple weeks at max. You know, because they already responded to it. Now the thing is, with this issue, obviously, it's not something that should need to be petitioned. That's one thing I look at it, you know. And now here's how the guy responded. He goes, "We decline to comment on the specific request raised in a petition which falls outside the scope of we the people terms of participation." You can read the full terms of participation, all this kind of stuff, right? And I'm thinking to myself, what the hell? First off, you shouldn't need to petition for something like this anyway, you know? The guy's the chief executive, actually, you know, chief dictator for crying out loud. But anyway, you know, it's like telling you the scope is what would not fall within the scope. In other words, they really don't define the scope, but they say what would not fall within the scope of petitions is advertising, endorsements, or purchase of commercial goods, petitions that expressly urge the support or opposition of candidates for elective office, do not address the actions or policies of the federal government. Now, obviously, enforcing the the security of the State Department would definitely be addressing the policies of the federal government. Hey, I'm really losing all respect for everybody in the federal government, including the people that are, you know, just pawns, cogs in a wheel. Because, you know, I know they're there because they got their direct deposit, and well, what can I do about it? But I'm losing respect for everybody in the government. To tell you the truth. So it's not against the policies. You know, it says it has to be threats or unlawful violence, obscene, vulgar, defamation of fraudulent statements, terms commonly understood to constitute profanity. You know, it's none of these things. It's telling the guy to enforce the law. She sold this out down the river, man. She sold this out down the river for what, millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars from foreign governments. You know, that's what that freaking damn email server was set up for. And the problem is he's involved. You know, that's the deal. And the real deal is, you know, here's his true colors because, you know, when you get down into Obama, it's like he's got that nice face that he talks like he's the cool president and all this type of stuff. But it really comes down to it, man. He's a power-hungry yo-yo, man. That's what the hell the deal is. And, you know, who he's protecting. Ha ha ha, Hildebeest. Along with Debbie Wasserman Schultz of the Democratic National Committee, who basically tanked Bernie Sanders. I don't know why Bernie's supporting her. That's ridiculous. Why is Bernie supporting her? Well, like, you're probably going to answer me that, you know. But I had to put this video out because, you know, it's like at least we got some freedoms on YouTube, for crying out loud. I mean, there's no freedoms anywhere else. I mean, you know, this guy's a real work of art. I tell you the truth, it's something else. So, just want to say that people did petition the White House, and you know that petition's probably going to be gone. And you'll think, well, it never was petitioned. Well, there was about 250,000 people freaking petitioned. And these petitions, originally it was 25,000 signatures to get a response, and they upped it to 50,000. Now it's 100,000. And they say, in the future it can even go higher. They can make whatever the threshold is, whatever the threshold they want. But it, you know, it's not outside the scope of what the guidelines are. There's no doubt about that. And the other thing is, you shouldn't need to petition that. It's almost like FBI Director Comey having to be requested by the government or the Congress or the House of Representatives in whatever investigation they did, to tell FBI Director Comey to specifically look into allegations that Hillary Clinton lied under oath. Oh, God, man. This is getting sick. This really is getting sick, man. I'll tell you the truth. So, a lot of people did sign this, and a lot of people, this wasn't advertised. I mean, the only place this was known was if you'd see it on a social media or something like that. People were just signing it left and right. So they didn't just get 100,000 signatures real quick. They got 246,000 signatures right away. And for him to say that's not that's not within the scope of the petition, is he kidding? He's not kidding me. Because you know what the deal is? Obviously the deal is he's as guilty as she is. And not only is she guilty and he's guilty, but pretty much anybody that was involved in those email chains, they know the deal. You're supposed to be getting emails from .gov servers that are secure. I don't even know why the hell they even have security, considering what the hell she's doing. I mean, why don't you just use Gmail? Gmail's more secure than what the hell she was doing, right? What a joke, man. Anyway, hopefully she doesn't freaking rig the entire election. I know they're going to try to do that. So, and I could comment more on it. She's agreed with Ted Cruz recently about voting your conscience or some shit. Excuse me, but you know what she meant. You know what I mean. She was agreed with Ted Cruz about voting your conscience. I was like, lady, you are something else. Well, you know what it is? She's a sociopathic liar. That's what the deal is, man. Anyway, but you know what? Everybody in government just sucking up to this garbage. You know why? Because they're getting paid. They're all getting paid. Even the ones they don't. There's a lot of people in government probably don't like her, but they suck up to it because they're getting paid and they play that game because somebody's greasing their palm. It's greasing their palm. We the taxpayers, or actually, if it's not us the taxpayers, actually mainly what's running the government is the debt default bomb growing bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah, we'll see. I think the whole damn thing's going to come down with a house of cards pretty soon. So anyway, over and out. Just want to put this up here and thank you, YouTube. Hopefully, doing the right thing here because, when we're talking about we the people, it's going to have to be we the people YouTube, okay? So we the people did this on the White House. This is going to disappear from the White House, right? And, the fact that this guy didn't even respond, saying it's outside the parameters of the scope of we the people terms of participation, get the hell out of here. Even if it was a little bit outside of it, say it was a little bit. I don't see where it is, though, because I just showed you the terms of participation. Say it was. He could at least make a response on something, say something. But the deal is, the fact that she's guilty also means he's guilty too. And not just him, but a lot of other people in government, just of, blowing the security wide open on the entire State Department. And I should also remind people, you remember that around that time? Well, before that, when we found out about the email server, there was the Office of Personnel Management records that were stolen by the Chinese government. Like they got everybody's record from the Office of Personnel Management, which is everybody that works for the government. It's like, and if you're not familiar with the applications and what's kept on the Office of Personnel Management, it's like your whole life history. It's way more than an ordinary employment application. It actually states like every school you went to, all your family and friends, all lifetime acquaintances you might have had for like over 5 or 10 years and things like that. It's like a very comprehensive application, far more than you would get from like just going into an employment of a regular company. And the Chinese have that on everybody that works in the government. I'm assuming, I know you can't prove this, but the fact that she had this private email server left a backdoor security breach to the entire State Department and possibly the entire government through that. That's what some of the security experts say. I'm just repeating what some of those people said. But it's not that far a stretch of an imagination to figure that, because when the hell did this ever happen that the Chinese got all of the office personnel management records? Right around the time the Hillary Clinton email server was discovered. These people are something else, man. It's like, they're destroying the nation for their own personal benefit. And who the hell knows? I mean, the way things are going, it looks like it might go so damn bad that, karma's going to be a bitch for these people that are even on the top, because, they think they're secure for everything for a lifetime. But, if they destroy this nation through their policies, another nation's going to come in and take over, and they're not going to care about, what security our former leaders had, too. So, I don't know what the hell's the matter with these people. Karma's a bitch, man. But unfortunately, most of it is going to go on we the people, not the people that create the problem. So, Mr. President Obama, I don't know. I can't believe he just didn't. If that was me and I had to answer a question about something stupid, I would still answer it. Even if I didn't agree with it, I would still answer the damn question. And the fact that he just said it was against the policies of the violation of the We the People agreement. No, it wasn't. I don't see what the hell he's talking about, man. He shouldn't even be freaking petitioning this, because it's like, this is your job, dude. But like I said, he's as guilty as she is. Right? What the hell can I tell you? Over and out.